Hello guys, today we are going to do a review for the next quiz we are going to have. Okay, so we are going to start by Unit 4, Lesson 8. So in Lesson 8 we learned about present continuous, but this is going to be used for future plans. Okay, here it says the theory. You can use present continuous for future arrangements, okay, appointments, or something you plan. Okay, so we have an example. I'm meeting Carla next week for a friend's birthday party. Second example, Norma is playing chess with her sisters tonight. So it means you can use present continuous to talk about future. Okay, so the translation should be: yo voy a reunirme con Carla la siguiente semana para una fiesta de cumpleaños de un amigo. Or maybe Norma jugará tenis con su hermana esta noche. So we are going to have a different explanation about present continuous. In this case, are plans in the future. Okay, so over here you have the explanation of forms. You have positives, negatives, questions. In this case you have yes, no questions. And later you have a short part in which you have the transformation of simple verbs into INGs. So I recommend you check in order you remember the rules in order to transform a verb in continuous. Okay, also we have this part that is going to. You need to use going to for plans. Okay, something you have planned before, algo muy importante y muy planificado. Okay, for example, we have I'm going to travel to Baños next month. Okay, a diferencia del presente continuo, el going to hay que conjugar el verbo to be y poner el verbo en forma base. Okay, I am going to travel to Baños next month. They va con are, they are going to hand out their thesis next December. And Tony is going to get married next August. I'm happy for her. Okay, so remember over here you need to conjugate the verb to be. Am, are, is, hay que ir conjugando dependiendo del sujeto. Y se traduce: yo voy a hacer algo, yo voy a viajar a Baños, ellos van a entregar su tesis, Tony se va a casar. Okay, remember that. Next, we have lesson B with will versus shall, and we are going to study the uses. So we are going to start with will, with decisions at the moment. Es decir, usamos will para algo que no hemos planeado, que surgió en el momento mientras estamos hablando. Later we have will for offers. Cuando nos ofrecemos a ayudar a alguien o a hacer algo por alguien, usamos will. Will for promises también. And will for requests. Es decir, will para pedidos. Okay. Here we have some examples. The first one is let's go, I'll buy 2 tickets for the cinema. Okay, so una decisión al momento. Later we have I'll pay the snacks for you. What is that? It's an offer. And later we have she'll pay your $20 back on Thursday. That is a promise, una promesa. And finally, a request. Will you close the door, please? Es un pedido. Later we have shall, that is used mostly in questions with the pronouns I and we. So we have used offers, or we use shall for offers, and we use shall for suggestions. And here we have some examples. An offer, shall I drive you to the airport? And shall we go to Chachimbiro tomorrow? That is a suggestion. Later, guys, we study this part is about modals from Unit 5, and we studied some words. We have must, that express obligation, that is something is necessary. Esto es en positivo, must significa obligación. And you have, you must clean your hands before touching the baby. Es decir, eso es obligatorio, lavarse las manos o limpiarse las manos. Later we have, Jenna must brush your teeth before going bed. Tú debes lavarte los dientes antes de ir a la cama. Later we have mustn't. En negativo, mustn't significa prohibición. So, example, you mustn't speak loudly at the library. Tú no debes hablar alto en la biblioteca. Later we have, Tom mustn't take out his face mask inside classes. Es algo prohibido. Tú no debes quitarte la mascarilla dentro de clases. Later we have to, that express obligation with others. An example, you have to wash the clothes of your brother now. Okay? And children have to feed the puppy. Todo esto beneficia, estas obligaciones benefician a alguien más, al hermano y el segundo ejemplo, al cachorro. On the contrary, we have don't have to, el negativo. Indica que algo es innecesario, ¿okay? Que no pasa nada si se hace o no. No hay malas consecuencias. An example, you don't have to wear formal pants at work. Es decir, que no es necesario usar esa ropa formal. You don't have to take out your shoes when you arrive. Es decir, que puedes sacarte los zapatos o no cuando llegues. Later we have can. Can en positivo indica permiso. You can come to the class. Puedes venir a la clase o entrar a la clase. You can take whatever you want from the supermarket. Es que se le está dando permiso a alguien de tomar algo en el supermercado. Puede ser un niño. Later we have can't. En negativo expresa prohibición. An example, you can't pass if you don't wear a face mask. No puedes pasar si no llevas mascarilla. You can take the exam if you didn't pay for it. Tú no puedes tomar el examen si no pagaste por él. Later, in Lesson B, Unit 5, we saw predictions, right? Will for predictions means that you are talking about 90 or 100% of certainty. Es decir, hay 90 o 100% de certeza que eso va a suceder. Okay? So we have sure to happen. Es decir, que estamos seguros de que eso va a suceder. You have, you will graduate in December. Tú te graduarás en diciembre. Es una predicción. You will work in Ibarra. Ok, tú trabajarás en Ibarra. And you will get married soon. Tú te casarás pronto. Todas esas predicciones con will expresan mayor porcentaje de certeza. Luego tenemos might for predictions. Aunque el salto might expresa un 80% de probabilidad que suceda. Examples, you might have a small family. Tú podrías tener una familia pequeña. Tina might be at the doctor one day. Might be a doctor one day. Dice, Tina podría ser una doctora algún día. My father might buy a new car next year. Dice, mi papá podría comprar un auto nuevo el siguiente año. Okay? And we finish, guys. We finish the review. Hemos acabado el repaso. Si desean un poquito más de ejercicios, los vamos a tener en la siguiente diapositiva. ¿Ok? Conéctese y realice estos ejercicios.